Welcome back to the NTRC's 10th annual iCode competition, where we have presentations from the open category. Please be reminded that 12 teams from this category would go on to the finals. Our team that we have presenting now is DM with their presentation, Tutor Now. Welcome, DM. You can begin your presentation after the buzzer. Tutor Now.
Hi. Good afternoon, everybody. Protocol has already been established. My name is Odia Charles.
And my name is Kiana John.
And together we are DM. Today we'll be presenting to you our mobile application called Tutor Now. Our tagline, e-tutoring may be your new way of... E-tutoring may be our new way of excelling.
We have all witnessed a decrease in the CXC passing grade in this previous year, 2021 to 2022. We're yet to see what this coming year has in store for us, and we believe that establishing our app, Tutor Now, will aid in the excellence of not only CXC, but CAPE and CPA with an even higher passing rate than the years before. Our target markets, our aim is geared towards students both in and out of educational institution, meaning enrolled or not. We cater for various teachers, persons with a teaching background who is willing to offer up their services. We also cater for those concerned parents who are looking for capable individuals that are open and available to help their children, and generally the advancement in the Department of Education. How Tutor Now works. You first enter and choose whether you are a teacher or a learner. You will be directly to the sign-in page where you sign in with username or email and password. You log in with Facebook or Gmail or sign up entirely. After this procedure, you are then taken to the home screen where you see the subjects available, tutors available, and preferred tutors, where you'd get to see who offers one-on-one sessions. Scheduling is based on a student's grade levels, where you decide depending on which subject you choose, and the grade level, because then when you sign up, you need information as in your grade level where you are in school. If you're not in school, the level that you reach in order to group you and schedule classes alike. So we schedule based on the level you're at, and even with choosing preferred tutors. Even with choosing preferred tutors, it's based same concept. They signed up and offer information like their qualifications, how much years they're teaching, their availability, etc. And the tutors are found in search also, and also that's how you pick your tutors preferred. Some of our features include for students. We have you signing up, then there's personalized scheduling, whether you choose one-on-one teachers or you group with a class. There is online communication. you search by either your tutor or the subject to find the availability. And there is vacancy notification in that when you schedule if you want a one-on-one class with a teacher, it will notify you of a certain subject. Let's say you want maths, you need classes for maths. The vacancy notification would come up for a specific teacher in that it would say when they're available and the time. And there's also confidentiality. The teachers, there is also signing up because, well, you have to sign up. There is advertising of services whereby teachers that work in an institution, they also get to advertise their services if they are available after school and gain extra cash. There is announcement of vacancies which work hand in hand with vacancy notifications. And there is direct communication, if necessary, where it caters for one-on-one sessions.
The cost for making this app will be, for software development, it will be $12,000. For planning, it would be approximately $5,000. Design, $8,000, and testing, $5,000. In all, this will come up to roughly $30,000. Our pros and cons. Our pros, you find tutors at a faster rate. All info needed can be sent right on the app. The app can be used on any device. And business ads, where if a tutor has a specific classes, they can advertise, basically they can advertise their app, what all the special qualities of their classes on the app. Also, students are giving the additional help they're needed. Even persons who apply to get aid in their GED can get to log in from anywhere, not disturbing their daily activities. This leads to our only con, which is Wi-Fi is needed.
We also plan to gain money on the app by subscriptions from tutors. Students are waived from paying subscription and instead they pay for the services of their classes, and the subscription is only offered to tutors. Thank you.
We will now have the questions from the judges, starting with Mr. Nanton.
Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon.
Good presentation. In a C where we have this is already an established service, right? Tutoring, and we have the service being offered across many mediums, right? What do you think is your competitive advantage, right, in this C or this pool of tutoring services? So basically, what do you think distinguishes you different from everyone else?
Okay. Well, we know that there are organizations per se that caters for tutoring in a whole. It has never been established in an app that I know of in this country. I know that, again, there are organizations like that. So then even finding, locating, asking around to find this particular organization, it may not be highly established, but through this app, there is an open variety. There's also advertisement on the app. So then there is a variety of offers for them, and it is something that we hope would be seen or recognized past just forming or getting a group of teachers that are capable and us forming an organization. Instead, we think that the app will have a greater effect.
Okay. That was a good presentation there. I know you just gave the costings and the outline of how much this will come up to, but you didn't identify the technology that you'll be utilizing? Could you let us, just a quick breakdown?
We use big data. Big data. We hope to cater for a large large quantity of people, not, as we said, not only for it to be something that isn't recognized, but we hope for it to be advanced in some ways. When the app is established, we hope for it to be reached. We hope that it will help in the educational system. So then, looking at it, we have to be capable. Well, we are prepared to be capable to accept a lot of requests, a lot of students, a lot of logins. So then we would use big data as a technology to go forward.
Mr. Pompey will now take your questions.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. Good presentation. My question is, you started out by articulating that the problem you're trying to solve is the decline in passing rates. How will you know that your app is working or solving that particular problem?
Well, we hope to keep in contact with the Ministry of Education and such departments of education. We would have we will have checkups along on our students to see their levels, to see their excelling in school. I mean, their progress, I should say, because we won't know, well, we won't know per se at first, but then first say if the app is now launched and there is exam coming up, the statistics will show the grades are over time. It will show that the app helps. The app is a way to advance them. It helps the tutors are efficient enough to get information across that they may not understand. So we will evaluate and keep in contact and check up with our students enrolled on the platform.
Okay, thank you. I think we're out of time, so thank you for your presentation.
Okay, thank you, DM, for your presentation. Tutor now. I will give the judges a minute to enter their scores. Okay, our next presentation is from team SVG as Tech Innovations, doing a presentation, Sign Master. You will begin your presentation after the buzzer, okay?
What does that mean?
It means good afternoon. Don't you use Sign Master?
No, I don't. Oh, well then, good afternoon, everyone. This is our presentation on Sign Master. Our table of contents would be about us, our app, problem and solution, how does it work, pros and cons, and closing remarks.
About us. Our team's name is SVGS Tech Innovations. I am Nathan Wark, and this is Isaiah Tony.
Our app, Sign Master, is an application that teaches people to learn sign language and enables them to communicate with persons who are mute and can be used as a translator for sign language as well.
Problem. In our country, little people know sign language. In some cases, people who can't talk are discriminated against. They're sent to different schools, they're bullied, they're not allowed to participate in some schooling activities such as inter-secondary school sports. Persons who cannot talk often feel lonely because they have no one to interact with. We need to change the way in which we look at these people.
Our solution. By more people understanding sign language, it gives us a way of understanding them and showing them that they are like us, they're human too. They just can't speak like us. Who knows? Maybe some of them were extremely talented, but because we made them seem smaller or insignificant, we hindered their talent. Maybe some of them might have been faster than Usain Bolt, or may have been able to sing better than Ariana Grande, or be such an excellent artist that they make an art piece more expensive than the Mona Lisa, but we do not know. This app will help us to change the way in which society views people who cannot talk or hear.
How does it work? Login. You enter your email or Gmail account info. A confirmation code will be sent to the user to ensure that their account is valid.
Pay info. You enter your payment info, and that is if you're getting the premium or ad-free version of the app.
And then you select the number of classes you want per week and how long are these classes.
How does it work? You choose a type of sign language. You select your type of sign language, which would be British or American Sign Language.
And points. This is one of two main features that will help people to download the app and try to learn sign language. So basically, for every lesson that you complete, you're given a certain amount of points. And then at the end of every week, there's a leaderboard on who has the most points.
The translate feature. Using the translate feature, you may record a video of someone signing. Then the translate feature uses image recognition technology to translate the sign into text in many languages, such as French or English or Spanish.
The interface. This app will use GUI. After signing up, the user may choose to learn either American Sign Language or British Sign Language.
As we have said before.
There will be, as stated before, a translate feature in which a video of someone signing can be converted into text. This feature will be for persons trying to hold a conversation with a mute or deaf person without wanting to take time to learn it.
Pros and cons. This app is free for download for everyone. It helps the Ministry of Education in enabling the majority of the public to learn sign language, and it helps us to communicate with people who are mute or deaf.
The cons. There are ads on the apps. You can't use the app without Wi-Fi, and it can take years to finally learn sign language.
We thank you, and these are our contacts: Isaiah.Tony@svgs.vc, Nathan.Warwick at svgs.vc, 495-7562. Does anyone have questions? And we thank you.
Okay, we'll now have the questions from the judges, starting with Mr. Pompey.
Okay, thank you guys. Really good presentation. I'm really interested in learning about how you came up with this idea. I wanna know your story about how you came up with this problem to solve.
Okay, so last year I was watching an iCode competition where I saw a judge ask a team, what about people who can't talk? So then after watching that, I got the idea.
Okay, interesting. All right. And so in your app, you're using gamification, you have points and you have a leaderboard. What other interesting things would you be able to do with the points that you have accumulated?
The points aren't really in the spending sense. It is just to motivate persons to continue using the app. It's basically
Okay.
like Duolingo.
Okay. And so my final question is, you said that the app is free for everyone. How are you going to be able to continue maintaining the application? Where are the funds going to come from?
The funds are going to come from, as we said earlier, you can get the premium version of the app, which will disable all ads on the app, or we will just make money from simply advertisements. And then the money that we make will go towards the maintenance of the app.
Okay, sorry. One final question. Just out of curiosity, how many new persons are in St. Vincent?
There are about 500 of them, according to research done by the Ministry of Health.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much, guys. Good job.
Okay, good afternoon, young men.
Good
That was a
afternoon.
good presentation. And seeing that Mr. Pompey took away all my questions, I only have one for you. And my question is login. Why Gmail account? You said email or Gmail. Why did you specify Gmail?
There was no reason really. It was just that Gmail was the first thing that had come to mind. So we just put Gmail and or email. You may also use Outlook and any other messaging.
Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
Good presentation. I just have one question. Do you guys know any other sign language besides good afternoon?
Yes, please. We know. Thank you and you're welcome, which is what we were going to do at the end.
Well, sorry for spelling that for you. All right, that's all I have to ask.
Okay. That's thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, SVG, Tech Innovations, for your presentation on Sign Master. I'm going to give the judges a minute to enter their scores. Okay, our next presentation would be from the team Skyfall, presenting Typo. You will begin your presentation after the buzzer. Okay?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, wait, sorry. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are Skyfall presenting to you today, Tipper for all your events. I am Afridon Dyer.
I am Odia Charles.
And I am Kiana John.
What is it, you may ask?
We use technology here by using more NFC transactions and applying this app's technology and concepts to a lot of issues in St. Vincent. Purchases and wait times can be drastically reduced in any business if applied correctly. Much needed.
It is the convenience factor. Tourists and locals alike can easily purchase tickets and enter an event at their leisure.
The standard. With Tipper around, no matter where in the Caribbean you go, you would be able to access events and event info due to geolocation features.
It is also the promoter. Promoting events is only one part. We also promote local and international entertainers, as well as giving the option to book them for performances, both public and personal events.
The revenue gainer. Ladies and gentlemen, this is technology. Currency is not an issue here. We accept it all.
And it's as physical as it is software. So how does this sound? Get your tickets at the nearest Tipper station near you. Tipper booths around the country guarantee physical tickets to events and sets a recognizable standard, making it easy on tourists and locals alike. Problems and solutions. So today I'll be taking problems. Number one problem. Sometimes I'm in public transport, watching something on TV or so on the radio, on the media, it comes through. Wet fit, cups up, get your tickets at mash up bar down the road. You don't know where that is. Me on the other hand, I did a boy, where that is. So, kind of hard. And imagine the tourists when they come in, they want to go to the event too, so why not? Tickets sold out, but the venue still got space, all right? So one advantage with Tipper is that we solve that problem by offering software tickets, all right? So it takes off the restriction of hardware tickets. You can't make it to that place just to get some tickets. I'm too busy, or I'm too tired. Most of the times we're at work or we're just not in the state to make that travel, Sometimes I bummed out and I don't even want to move from where I did, so that could hold on, right? And too expensive. Sometimes you go and pay 200 or 150 just for going a party with water and go jam up next to people. You ain't had the money. You could pay 150 and do something else, right? Tipper would solve that with some incentive.
Our solution. Tipper, obviously, that's a no-brainer. It even caters for various events.
Our features include purchasing software tickets. You enter event contactlessly, sharing tickets, hiring local and international performers, geolocation event information, and you get event notifications.
Before we move on to our target market, a disadvantage, well, our only disadvantage really is that our app needs wireless fidelity. Now, target market, the tourism industry,
private sector entertainment brands,
our civilians,
all Caribbean islands for starters.
Our sustainability and cost. In the Caribbean, we expect this app to last forever. Once events are around, it should live a long life, if taken seriously, that is. UX designs is approximately $10,000, back-end development, $10,000, and user testing, $2,000, which should give us a total of $22,000.
Yes, money time, right? So we plan to make money by in-app exclusive features. So reduce prices on certain tickets acts as incentive to gain money through the app with every purchase. So you get the jump on people. You use our app, you don't have to pay $150 or $200 for an event. Could probably get for 80. Paying a premium price can give you the jump on tickets and event information. So no longer waiting until the event info is made public. All right. You can see that it's coming beforehand and get your tickets by then. Database maintenance. So interested investors would pay a price to keep their event info on database and constantly updated with encryption integrated, ensuring the data security. All right. Promoting events and performers. Advertising events and performers through the app is another way which tipper will gain. Is another way in which tipper will gain revenue.
Side note, Tipper's designs and user testing data is currently user-locked. Investors interested in the design and user experience should contact us for more details.
Tipper, we cater for all your events, so don't miss the opportunity to extend your reach to your intended audience. Thank you.
Okay, we will now have the questions from the judges, starting with Mrs. Jackson.
Okay, that was an interesting app. My question to you, how I'm a promoter, I have a function coming up, or an event, I should say. How am I getting my money from you? And how much, if my ticket costs $150, but you're going to sell it at $80, how do I gain my profits from this app? So one, how am I being paid from you when you sell my tickets? And the next question is, if you're going to be selling tickets at a discounted rate, where is my margin for my event?
So for your first question, which was, again, can you repeat quickly? Or how would you get your money from your investors, well, the civilians using the app, right? So with every purchase, there should be some amount going towards you as the promoter or the originator of the event, all right? In terms of gaining profit from reduced prices, remember, as we say, you have your hardware side, so you might have your tickets, and you have the software side, so it's like double revenue, all right? So you get your revenue from the percentage in the app, even though it's at a reduced price, and you still be gaining revenue outside of the application as well. So it would act as incentive, and you can also increase your chances of getting more participants to get into your event, because it takes away the restriction of needing a physical ticket, sorry.
You had indicated earlier that part of what the app will do is help to promote different items. I didn't see anything in how you're going to help me promote my particular event.
Well, on the very first page of the PowerPoint, there was the main user interface. So you have your settings at the top. In the middle, there are banners, right? And those banners will showcase events happening around the region or in the country that you're at currently based on geolocation. Now, when you long press on those banners, we plan to have an overlay open, right? So when that overlay pops up, the user can easily swipe up, see maybe your featured artist, clips from the previous event, right? And they would also be able to read information about it. So that way they learn about it as well. So it's kind of like advertising while persuading your audience, your intended audience.
Mr. Nanton, any questions from you?
Yeah, thanks for that presentation. Is it a free to use app?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so if someone who's having an event signs up, so they're free to post any event.
Can you repeat for me, please?
As a promoter, am I free to post any event to my liking?
Unfortunately, no, please. So we're trying to do this as professionally as possible. So the people in charge of the application are linking the database to the design, right? Or linking the data to the design. You would have to present the type of information that you'd like to display, because as we know, some things may not always be pleasing to everybody out there. And it's also a way of protecting our intended target market and audience.
Mr. Pompey, if you have a brief question.
I notice all of the time is gone for questions, and I have about 3 questions, so I probably will only ask one. Is this one app or 2 apps?
One app.
So this one app, sorry, this is a follow-up question. This is one app for the event participants, and if this app is for them, what will the event managers use at the door, for instance, when persons are coming in with their app on their phone?
So I'd like to just make sure I understand what you're saying fully. So you're asking if the end users would be using this to enter the event, what would you as an investor of the event be using to portray your information through the app?
Yeah.
All right, so yes, this is one app for the end user only. However, your role would be to present the information to us so that we feature it in the app. So we're in charge of all the back-end development, and the user, the only thing the end user has to worry about is purchasing tickets or booking a performer and getting into that event or having the performer arrive at their venue, right? And as an investor, you are free to also purchase tickets and enter your own event trade if you so please.
Okay, thank you. We're out of time. Thank you. Good presentation.
Welcome.
Thank you, Skyfall, for your presentation. I will now give the judges a minute to enter their scores. Okay, please be reminded that 12 teams from the open category will go on to the finals. The next presentation on the agenda is from Red Lions. Rody. Please wait until the buzzer to begin your presentation.
Rody, start planning your adventure. Yes, Rody. Never heard of it? Well, let me tell you about it right now. Rody allows for the online exploration of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It maps the quickest route from one location to another and highlights attractions and activities that users can do and visit. It highlights food establishments along the route and gives users options in their exploration transportation. Whoa, there's hardly any information about prices for attractions and activities. And if there is, they are in hard copy form, which can sometimes be hectic to get. There's little to no hotel rooms in the areas of these attractions and activities. With our app, it would be much easier for tourists and users to visit these attractions and rest. No longer, as an added bonus, there would no longer be any dead ends. Since Roadie allows for the planning of your road trip. Our target consumers are tourists and adults with driver's license. Tourists, because St. Vincent and the Grenadines, tourism makes up a bulk of St. Vincent and the Grenadines' income, and it would be wise to target the tourists. It would be wise to target the tourists. Adults with driver's license, because they need a driver's license to drive a car. The app. The app maps the fastest route from one location to another. It provides the entry fees for the attractions and the prices for the activities. The users has the option to explore using their own vehicle or a van outfitted as a camper. So they could either explore St. Vincent using a rental or their personal vehicle, or they could use a van that we, the developers, provide outfitted as a camper. And that is how we would be making our money. It includes challenges like hike all the mountains in St. Vincent and the Grenadines with a trail, beach hop from the Windward Coast to the east to the Leeward Coast and vice versa in an allotted time, visit all waterfalls on St. Vincent, and of course, there will be prizes. Our prizes would be replicas of natural, cultural, and historic attractions in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. To confirm that these challenges were done, participants have to submit a picture after completing the challenge.
Features. Detail map. The app will include a map of St. Vincent to show the road network. Receipt. They will give a receipt for the attraction, the food, and the optional camper van. Food establishments will also be recognized along the routes, and it will have a section so you could pre-order your food. This will allow you to quickly receive your food so you could continue on your journey. Resources and technology. Money is needed to fund the purchases of van and outfitting. A location to secure the campers. A location to secure the campers. It will need a secure location because we can't have people camping in dangerous areas. 3 camper vans. 4 employees. They'll need a few employees to help run the business smoothly. And 5 big data.
Yes, and we need big data because we have to collect the in-depth information about these maps and the road network in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Thank you.
Okay, we'll now have the questions from the judges, starting with Mr. Pompey.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good presentation, guys. You outlined some of your items that you need to successfully run your business, such as purchasing these camper vans and outfitting them and so forth. How much is this going to cost us? Cost you, sorry.
So in the beginning, we'll begin with 2 camper vans because we won't have enough money to have more than this. So to have more than 2. So we have not calculated the cost to buy these camper vans and outfit them.
Okay, and I wanted to understand a little bit more about how you're going to ensure the safety of your customers.
Right. So we would have employees at the sites to ensure, and cameras, we would install cameras at these sites to ensure that the customers are secure.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that was a good one. And Mr. Pompey as well has taken away my questions. My question to you, you're going to use the map. Well, you're going to have signs on, okay. For persons to figure out where they're going, there has to be signs and so on. How are you going to go around that when we know we have lack of inadequate, or rather inadequate signage around the country? So how is your app going to work around that for me to get to my location to camp?
That is a good question, and we haven't thought of that. So thank you for giving us extra food for thought. But how we designed the app, our idea was that you would use the app would give you the route. But thank you for giving us that that food for thought.
No further questions. Okay. Thank you, Red Lions, for your presentation, Rody. I will give the judges a minute to enter their scores. Okay, so the next team we have presenting is Jayan Innovations with MedWeb. You will wait for the buzzer to begin your presentation. Okay, so in the meantime, Jayan is getting ready. We will have a presentation from coders, Hydric Alert. Astra. Our next presentation will be by Astra. You can begin after the buzzer.
One, two. Judges, fellow participants, audience, media, good afternoon. We're here to present Kexel, double the app, double the news. I'm Luke Wilson, and this is my partner, Stanislaus Gomes, and together we're Astra. Judges, in these challenging times, we all need to know everything that's going on so that we can be prepared for what is to come. However, today, many people do not like to purchase a physical newspaper since anything, well, almost everything can be done virtually. And even if one uses an online site to read an e-paper, a person might want to be more informed about all the latest news. No website or application currently has all the news reports from all the papers or news outlets in SPG. Additionally, there are a lot of issues verifying the authenticity of a lot of the information posted online. How many times have you seen the cliche posts about the closure of schools only to find out it was fake? These are the type of problems that Kexel will aim to solve. Kexel, our idea for a news aggregator, is a solution that people have been looking for to this problem. It will collect the various news reports from different news outlets throughout SVG, have them in one app, and present the reports in different sections, meaning the news for today on sports, for example, will all be on one page, but tagged or categorized by the news outlet that published it. This application will be quite useful to people as they will get all the reports they require in one reliable and convenient place. It would also be extremely user-friendly and better for the environment, as it could potentially reduce, well, it will reduce the waste created by newspaper production, as it will encourage less physical printing. Now, let's look at how Kexel would work. First, we'd approach various agencies, both independent and governmental, and pitch our idea for a partnership. Upon agreement, the news outlets would send us their reports on some events or any news in general. The app would then assemble the information, subcategorize it based on who published it or the type of article. For example, put a report from Searchlight newspaper in one section and put a football match analysis in another. The information will then be posted and users will be notified that an article has been posted and they will gain access to said information. An application like Kexel will be outfitted with the relevant technology, such as having the ability to compile and categorize all reports automatically and upload them. Kexel will also have the ability to handle potentially hundreds or even thousands of reports, reviews, pictures, etc. And these amounts of data will be stored on an online server.
Kexel's user interface will be extremely simple and creative, so that everyone and anyone can use and understand our application. Kexel will also be very visually pleasing to the eye, which in turn would also be supplemented by having an easy and clear navigation buttons and having clear subsections for the user to understand. Now, for the development of Kexel, a couple of things will be needed. Firstly, we'll need various personnel for both the back-end and front-end coding. Next, for the aforementioned data hosting, we plan to utilize an online backend service provider, as it will lower the upfront cost of our application, which brings the total cost to make and manage Kexel to approximately 2,700 Eastern Caribbean dollars. Kexel's applied sector would firstly be all news outlets within St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as well as all government agencies, for example, the Agency of Public Information, the Ministry of Education, and much more. Now, it is without a doubt that Kexel will be an extremely viable and creative application that will greatly benefit SVG as a whole by being the first news compiler application within SVG, which allows for persons to access the information, reports, and articles way easier. Furthermore, Kexel will be available on all major app stores, making it easily accessible. We are planning to develop Kexel in a way that it will require little human management, as it will be able to compile, categorize, and upload all reports and articles on its own. Lastly, we plan to make Kexel extremely financially sustainable, as it will have ads implemented into the user interface so as to generate revenue through Google's AdMob program. In the completion of making Kexel, we aim to firstly make it the fastest and most reliable medium to transmit information within St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We also aim to make it easier for users to receive necessary information and stay informed on the happenings in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Collectively, we aim to make SVG become a more technologically sustainable society as a whole. Judges, audience, we thank you for your time throughout our presentation, and we welcome any questions that you may have at this time. Thank you.
Okay, we'll now have the questions from the judges, starting with Mrs. Jackson.
Okay, so that's an interesting concept. That was good. Unless I am mistaken, I saw something there regarding environmental issues, and I saw online news outlets. So how does that correlate? On the screen, you had the online news outlets that are already environmentally friendly, and then you're speaking about environment. So unless I misunderstood.
Well, they would be one of our targets, but we wouldn't. The environmentally sustainable part would come in reducing the actual printing of newspapers. So we would feature them online because they are news, but the main cutting back in the environmental impact would be from the physical newspapers.
Okay. Yeah. So as a news outlet, online news outlets, so I have Jackson News first. What's my incentive to be part of your app?
So first, well, the news outlets to get a cut from what profit we make. That'll be one, and two, it's a lot easier to find in one app instead of having to go through Facebook, go through a lot of potential news reports to find yours. Also, a lot of news sites. So if it's in one place, so a lot more likely you'll get traffic.
Thank you for your presentation. You mentioned the app will have the ability to self-compile, right? And earlier you also mentioned about misinformation. What systems would you have in place to combat misinformation if it's being self-compiled?
Hello? Yeah. What we aimed to do at first was provide the news reports, news sites with like a form they could fill out, and they could enter their reports on the form, and they will like have tag section, put the tags, put the actual article heading, then after that it would upload it to our site. It'll be verified official news organizations or anybody posting what they feel like from back in the kitchen or something like that. Self-compile would probably be a bit of a stretch in terms of how we had it, but it's more like assembling information once we've already gotten it from the newspaper.
Okay, thank you for that answer. Also, as an online news aggregator for like different news outlets, who may also have their own form of digital platform, what is the clear-cut advantage of using Quixel?
Yeah. Well, once again, it would be more of a traffic advantage because it will be an app where you can get all news one place. You'll have more users on that app than say individual site. And interestingly, we actually interviewed Searchlight last year, and they actually like the idea, and they also have their own subscription-based plan. So they said they would be willing to partner with us when we talked to them about the idea last year. So we decided that was a market based on what their response was.
Mr. Pompey?
All right, thank you. Good presentation. You mentioned one of the technologies that you will be leveraging is machine learning, but I didn't really get a really good understanding of how exactly you're going to apply machine learning. So could you please explain that for me?
It'll be more based on the trends of some, like the viewing of articles. So you get recommended more articles based on what you like to use on the app. So for example, if you watch all the sports articles in we have a section on the app. We should have probably put that in on the PowerPoint, but they'll have a section with recommended articles. So based on that, or what you usually watch, you'll get recommended articles similar to that. Well, first.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good luck.
Thank you, Astra, for your presentation, Kexel. I will just give the judges a minute to enter the scores. Okay, our next presentation would be from Jayan Innovations, presenting MedWeb.
Good afternoon to everyone. Hey, Jeanette, can't tell the last time I saw you, girl.
Hey, how you doing? I haven't seen you in so long. You look so sick. How you look so sick, sir?
I'm hanging on for dear life, girl. Just came from the pharmacy and picked up something called paracetamol. I don't even know what it does, but hope I didn't waste my money for nothing.
I don't even know. I mean, you should probably go to the chiropractor. That's what they do. At least that's what I heard from my Facebook friend last year.
You sure? You really sure? I really want to get rid of this nasty code before it get rid of me. Wish there was something to make my life so much easier.
Introducing MedWeb.
Making the right choices for you.
My name is Janessa Durham.
And my name is Anthony Coffey. And we are
J&N Innovations.
So what is the problem? Persons who are sick may not know which medication would be best to buy. And some medication may also be expensive. Some persons may not know how to treat simple injuries such as a wound or a swollen body part, and persons may not know which doctor to seek for medical help based on their specific condition. How are we going to combat these problems? The app will choose the best medication based on the symptoms entered. The user can educate themselves about natural, affordable remedies using items found in their house or even their garden. They can learn how to carry out simple procedures such as cleaning a wound. The app will also recommend doctors that would be best suitable based on the symptoms entered by the user. So many of you may be wondering, what exactly is MedWeb? MedWeb is an application which allows its users to enter their symptoms and show the best over-the-counter medication available in their area or across the BitCent.
MedWeb aims for the general public at the ages above 18 and the Ministry of Health, Wellness, and the Environment. The features of MedWeb is the search engine. Through the search engine, MedWeb will allow users to find the best over-the-counter medication in pharmacy inventories for their symptoms. It provides contact information for doctors in specific fields such as dermatology and optometry. It will host simple traditional remedies as well as proper ways to treat simple injuries such as a cut on the leg. The MedWeb app also has a feature for history and ratings where customers can share their experiences with certain medications. For convenience, MedWeb will display all the locations for a specific medication along with the pricing, age range, and dosages, etc. The MedWeb app is going to generate money by getting pharmacies will pay a small subscription fee through the app in order for their inventory to be on the app as an advertisement, and the app would earn income by having paid advertisement from other industries. The budget of MedWeb is approximately $25,000, and that would cover the design cost, the cost of the programmer, creation of the database, and access to online servers.
User experience. The app will have a graphical user interface that would allow the user to interact with the application easily. Color differentiation will be used for some of the features, such as a map, where my location would be in a different color than the location of the pharmacies where the medication is available. There would also be customizable features. The app would allow its users to change the theme and font size, since it's going to be used by persons of different age, for example, young persons and senior citizens. Automated notification and text-to-speech are two other features that would be available on the app. Cons of MedWeb. Internet connection is needed since the app will be storing its information on an online cloud service provider. Many of you may be asking, why should I choose MedWeb? There is currently no other app like this in SPG. Our pharmacies need this app since many, if not all, does not have an online presence. Hence, persons have to call or walk around town for long periods in order to find their medication. MedWeb will save you the time and hassle. Additionally, when you get to the pharmacy, you don't know which medication to buy. MedWeb provides the best medication for you based on your symptoms. If you want to seek medical help, MedWeb can help you find the best doctor for your specific condition. Our app is convenient, easy to use, and free. Make the right choice today by choosing MedWeb, making the right choices for you.
Okay, we will now have the questions from the judges, starting with Mr. Nanton.
Good afternoon, ladies. The presentation. I know this is a medical-based app. So what exactly, or how exactly will you accurately diagnose an individual? On the back end, right? How do you come to the conclusion that this individual person would need this individual drug?
Okay, so the user is going to enter his or her symptoms. And when that happens, the system will bring up a list of drugs that would help those symptoms. And then the user will select which one he or she wants based on their symptoms. So, for example, I have a cold, I have a nasty cough, or I have a cough, I have fever, and this and that. So the app will generate the medication that suits my condition. And there's not going to just be one medication. It will go from top to bottom of which one would be best. And I can choose. If I choose, for example, paracetamol, then the prices will come up and then I could choose where I want to buy that medication. And the information, we are hoping, as we mentioned, we want to partner with the Ministry of Health, and we'll get the information from them as to which drug would be best suitable for a specific condition.
Ladies, follow up to his question. Who's the custodian of this application, of this app? Who owns ownership of this app?
We will be the owners of the app, and we will work alongside the ministry to ensure the accuracy of the medications that it provides.
Okay. So in saying that, based on the example that you gave, there's some symptoms that are similar to different illnesses and so on. How would you prevent recommending a particular medication because of the symptoms I placed in, or wrongfully diagnosing my illness? How is that going to affect your app, or what have you put in place for such things to, if that should occur?
Okay, so when I, as a user, enter the app, I can make an account where I can put underlying conditions or allergies, and that would be taken into consideration when I'm searching for a particular medication. And also, when I find a medication, I myself can read what it is for, and I can also read the comments and how people used it and if it worked or not. So those things will help me to choose which medication would be best for me.
Mr. Pompey?
Okay, thank you. Time for questions is over again. But I'm particularly interested, and I think Mrs. Jackson was kind of alluding to this particular question, but how will you protect yourself against the liability that may come about where someone says that, you know, some loved one for them died, or they had an allergic reaction to one of these medications or whatever, something negative happened as a result of them, subscribing to your choices for them. How are you going to protect yourself against that type of liability?
So in the future, we can have in-app pharmacists that can help to make sure that the information is accurate. So if you don't want to enter your symptoms, maybe you can talk to the person in an in-app chat, and that person will be knowledgeable based on what you've told them.
Okay, final question. As part of your revenue model, you indicated subscriptions. Who exactly is paying subscriptions as a part of your business model?
The pharmacies will be paying the subscription because if they're going to upload their inventory onto our app, and that is a form of advertisement for them, because people will be coming onto our app to find medication.
Okay, thank you so much. Good job.
Okay, thank you, Team Jayan Innovations, for your presentation, MedWeb. I will now give the judges a minute to enter their scores. Okay, next team we have presenting is Coders with their presentation, Hydric Alert. Please welcome Coders. You will begin your presentation after the buzzer.
Pleasant good afternoon to everyone. My name is Gia Gloucester,
And I'm Vikram Alexander.
and we are the coders, and we present to you Hydro Alert.
Water is essential for life on Earth. Without it, life as we know it will cease to exist. It is especially important in the Caribbean, where we know how limited freshwater supplies can be at times. Being from Union Island, we depend solely on rainwater as our main source of fresh water. Every year, we are faced with water shortages during the dry season between February to November. And because of this, we always practice water control usage to ensure we have enough water to last us through the dry season. To save our water, we depend on wall tanks that normally holds 74 gallons of water, and by the sum of that, it isn't enough to do the daily things you do with it, like wetting our plants, feeding our livestock, and cooking. So today, we present to you Hydro Alert. So what is Hydro Alert? Hydro Alert is a water monitoring app that uses sensors, receivers, and smart reader to measure and communicate water usage for consumer and of the Grenadines. This app will tell the user how much water are in their wall tanks, give them daily, weekly, and monthly updates of how many water they are using, and set goals and limits the amount of water they are using on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis using past usage data. So how does Hydro Alert works? So you will need 3 components, and these components are a wire, a sensor, and a receiver. So the wires will be placed in the tanks of the individual, and on these wires, there will be sensors that are a foot apart from each other. So these sensors act as levels in the tank to measure the amount of water that are in the tank. So for example, a normal wall tank is 12 feet high. So that means there will be 12 sensors on that one wire, and each is a foot apart of each other. So say for instance, I go to check how much water are in my tank, and the water level is at the 6th sensor. I know that I have 6 feet of water in my tank. Then that's when the receiver will do its job. So the receiver and the sensors are connected through the wires, and when a user opens the app, the 3-in-1 starts to work to give the information to the users. So why will this be useful? It will give individuals an idea how much water they are using, whether it is daily, weekly, monthly, and show them ways in which they can cut down on the amount of water they are using. Also, we have created a feature called Goal of the Day. So basically, Goal of the Day is a feature that allows individuals to be able to set a limit and a goal to achieve, whether it be daily, weekly, or monthly. So say for instance, right, I have this app, and for this week, I have used 20 gallons of water. The goal of the week may be to get under the 20 gallon. So I'll set a limit. So say for instance, I set a limit for 15 gallons. So 15 gallons is the limit, so that means I can't go over the 15. And if by chance I start getting close to the 15, the app will alert me, telling me that I'm approaching the limit or I have passed the limit. Also, goal of the week acts as a way for people to interact with the app and not have it on their phone doing nothing. So how we intend on making money from this app? So in order for individuals to use this app, they will need to buy the components from us, which is the wire, the sensors, and the receiver, which has unique codes that will be needed to enter into the app. So each component will cost. The sensor, it will be $25 each for a sensor. The wires will be 100 EC dollars, and the receiver will be 80 EC dollars. And there will be additional $115 to set it up. So in total, it will be 360 EC dollars, 630 EC dollars. Although we focus on the Grenadines because of it being 100% dependable on rainwater, we also want to implement mainland St. Vincent to our app. So to do so, we present to you Smart Water Meter. So what is smart water meters? Smart water meters are devices that measures and communicate water usage from consumer to provider to facilitate water management and proper billings. They also allows us to find and fix leaks more quickly. Today, persons can check their water usage, pay their bills, and control their utilities from a smartphone. Why is there a need for smart water meter in SVG? Although traditional mechanical water meter have performed adequately over the years, consumers are expecting more from water management devices from sustainability and recyclability concern to the need for more accurate measurement. Also, users will be able to know how much water they are using on a daily, weekly, monthly basis and have an idea of how to conserve. Also, goal of the week will also be a part of this. What are so special about water meters? These meters are equipped with electronic component unit or ECU that facilitates communication between the meter and the supplier. Unlike mechanical water meters, smart water meters track water usage through technology such as ultrasonic or ultramagnetic reading that provide more accurate measurement.
Problems. So some of the problems are unable to properly budget your utility bills, not able to conveniently track your water usage, undetectable water leakage, high and outrageous water bill prices, not being able to know how much water you are using per month. The main target markets are CWSA and the general public. So there's a feature of the app called push notification, which will send messages and real-time updates of leakage when you are exceeding your water budget, when your bills are available from your local provider. Also sends estimated amounts for your bill ahead of time, send updates when there will be no water. Benefits the target market. It will benefit CWSA because they get quick notification about any leakage or any damaged pipe. It will also benefit the general public because it gives customers a peace of mind. Pros and cons. Some of the pros are it has a user-friendly interface and the water meter will still work even with a power outage. The cons are that it is very costly and it can only work where radio signals are available. Security and costs. Some of the security placed in the app are encryption and firewall. The cost of installation per water meter will be between $180 to $320 US. And building and maintaining the app is generally expensive, so it will cost approximately $70,000 and upwards.
I have to stop your presentation here, and we will now have the questions from the judges. Mrs. Jackson, you can go ahead.
Interesting presentation. You said the app, I will set my goal based on the usage for the week, for the month, thereabout. So if there's a family of 6, how will this app work for all of us to be on the same goal?
Okay, so seeing that it's a household, everybody will be using the same meter, which means they will have the same account and the same information. So they will have to be responsible for setting and, in a sense, managing, because they are the one that are using the water and that will be paying for it. So they will be responsible for that.
And water leakage. You said it will detect when there's a water leakage, or would it tell me where the leakage is, or just telling me that there's a leak?
Okay, so yes, it will tell you where the water leakage is because everything is under the system. So CWSA will get that information and they will.
So that is for the central water. That part is just for the central water authority, not for the users.
Oh,
So that's for the central water authority.
So when you say everything is on the system, what system?
The water meter system.
Yeah.
Actually, please, back to your question when you asked what system. It uses an electronic component unit or ECU that facilitates the communication. So that system. Yeah.
Yeah. Good presentation, guys. Just one quick question. The app, is there any recurring fees in the app, or is just a one-time purchase with the equipment?
So for the grenadines, right? Is a one-time fee. So in order for you could have the app, but it won't work if you don't have the components. So you have to buy the components. So it's a one-time fee. And if by chance you need replacements, you will have to pay additional fee to get the replacements. But it will not be as the first. The price for the replacement will not be the same as the first price. You will get discounts.
Okay. I think I may have missed it, but for the smart water meter, right? Who is taking on that cost? The smart water meter. Who is taking on the cost of
installment?
Yeah.
So basically, we will be partnering with CWS, right? So we will be providing the smart water meter. So they will buy the smart water meter from us, and then they will do the other thing of installing it. So the cost will come from they will give the cost to the person, that part. The only part we're doing is sell the water meter to them, providing the water meter.
Mr. Pompey?
All right, thank you. Sorry. I actually like this this problem space that you guys are looking to address. We're talking about the water and managing water usage. And then a large component of this is the hardware stuff where you're selling wires and sensors and so forth. I'm trying to figure out how safe is this device?
Well, it will be safe. It will be safe. The wires will have a coating, right? And the wires running from the bottom of the tank to the top of the tank, and it will be connected to the receiver, so it will be safe.
Okay, so explain a little bit more about how the technology is actually working. How is this device actually detecting how much water is left in the tank?
Okay, so you have a wire running from the bottom of the tank to the top of the tank, right? And it's connected to a receiver, right? And on the wire, there are sensors. So generally a tank is 12 feet high. So you will have 12 sensors on that one wire, and each sensors is a foot apart. So say for instance, I go and check to see how many water I have in my tank. So if the water is at the 6th sensor, I will know that I have 6 feet of water available in my tank. So the sensors act as levels to tell you how much water there in the tank.
Okay, great. And this technology is going to be able to detect that through the concrete, through the wall?
Well, there will be a hole on the lid of the lid that cover the tank. So it runs through the hole and it connects to the receiver.
Okay. Okay, my last question. So to get this all set up, at least for the solution for the grenadines, we have $630, correct?
Yes, $630.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out, like, in terms of the economics of it, because it seems pretty pricey. What is the average amount of water you think households will save as a result of using your solution?
Well, I think they will save a large amount of water, right? Because dry season is a thing down in the Grenadines, and I have faced it many times where the dry season comes around and I don't have no water, and then we have to go to the wells to get the salty water, and then we have to boil the water to get it to be able to drink the water. So I think the islanders, they will use the water, they will use this app as a means of saving the water to prevent them not having water when the dry season comes around.
Okay, understood. Okay, thank you guys. Good job.
You're welcome.
Thank you, the coders, for your presentation, hydro alerts. Now we're going to give the judges a minute to enter their scores before we proceed to the next presentation. Okay, next up, we have a presentation by Skyfall. Team Skyfall. With their presentation circuit. Please wait for the buzzer to begin your presentation.
Good afternoon again, ladies and gentlemen. We are Skyfall presenting to you our mobile app, Circuit. Clean, just like this PowerPoint. Oh, I am Afridon Dyer.
My name is Udia Charles.
My name is Kanajan.
Okay, so our problem. Is there such a thing as sidewalks? Do you guys feel the heat coming into our country these days? We're directly under the sun, yet we don't utilize our natural resources. We're contributing to the carbon footprint where we're under the equator, yet we destroy it. Also, there's a lack of human fitness, which contributes to diabetes and obesity, etc. For this application, we may need wireless fidelity. However, it will be used to reduce carbon footprint, makes more for public space, increase physical and fitness, and future-proofing in the country with electrical vehicles, which incorporate software and hardware.
Our innovative ideas are: one, electric bicycles. It solves the problem of carbon footprint and provides space on sidewalks as well for those who doesn't have to travel far or live near. We also have bicycle paths which makes it easier for bikers to ride when or if this is implemented, and it reduces accidents. There is the innovation of a mobile app, which is used with geolocation and GPS tracking through servers linked to this software. Also shows us availability of bikes and charging stations throughout the country for our project and for personal use, even though initial idea is based around implementing electric bicycles, electric vehicles in the future would be catered for. There are also better roads, which this app will give a reason for the broken roads to be fixed.
So we're going to how this app works. So first of all, we need some innovation, and our innovation needs to be implemented or else it won't work, right? So we need parts, more specifically bicycle parts. So on our streets or maybe in our communities, we could have some parts specifically for bicycles and individuals interested in actually taking that form of transportation instead of the long walk or being cramped along the sidewalk along with other individuals based on the state of capital or their constituents or constituency. We will need bikes, and we're implementing electrical bicycles, right? Reason being, with the motors on these bicycles, you won't have to exert as much physical energy to travel, all right? And it would still promote a good way, well, a good fitness reason, actually, for individuals, right? Which can probably lessen our complaints about diabetes and obesity. There's also the GPS system. So we need to make this as secure as possible. We don't want individuals taking bikes and running off with them. Hence the GPS system, which would be integrated with the app and with our, well, base. When I say base, well, it's an initiative and people need to be in charge. So if a bike is out of proximity for too long, or proximity of a charging area or parking space for too long, notification would be sent to headquarters and the EV would automatically shut down, all right? Brakes and all. So we have EVs. Another part of this application is catering for electronic vehicles in the future of St. Vincent. And it would also help to solve the carbon footprint. Now, if we take a look at vehicles, electronic vehicles or EVs, electric vehicles are becoming more affordable. So if we take a look at brands such as Hyundai and Honda, their EVs are selling for around 30,000 US, around there, 33,000. Now, if you go on Be Forward, or probably even look for a vehicle in the region, it will cost among the same amount of money. So we're trying to push this to raise awareness, and especially if you live in close proximities, maybe possible area to town or just traveling around town, you won't need that much mileage. So this is a good way to travel, yet protect the environment and also save on some costs. We would also implement the charging stations as well, which would make good use of our sun and reservations, all right? So you can obtain an electric bike for travel two ways. If you need one immediately, you can directly go to the parking space and submit a payment and get that bike to travel. Or you can pay through the app to reserve that bike. So when you get to that parking area, you just hold your phone to a terminal and confirm that the transaction was made using NFC, near field communication or contactless payment. And the technology used in this, well, we plan to have it done with JavaScript to ensure smooth transitions, animations, and Python, which is a very good human level language, which would allow for greater efficiency in our time taken to bring this app to market.
Our cost realistically will be around 230,000, and that is just for the app, creating of the app alone. The hardware and software integration will roughly be about 200,000, the UX design 20,000, and the user testing and interviews 10,000, which brings us to our target market, which are the civilians, the people of this country, and the Ministry of Transport, whom we will need cooperation from in launching and operating this app.
How would our app make money? First, there'll be bike payments. So when a user wants to use a bike or they want to rent or reserve a bike, they have to make their payments so they would gain access. They would have to make their payments through the app so they can gain access to the bike. Now, so we can make money from vandalization. So if there's a possibility that one of the user has destroyed the bike in some way, they would have to pay for it.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll now have the questions from the judges, starting with Mr. Pompey.
Okay, thank you. Good presentation, guys. So can you please repeat for me the core problem you're trying to solve?
We are trying to reduce the carbon footprints for one, and the idea that we don't really have sidewalks is to base along the concept that it's crowded, and the fact that the place is hot. First and foremost, the place is hot, especially right now, due to probably the main cause, which is the increase of carbon footprint in this country. So the whole us for the app is solving the problem of the reduction in this, and also the utilization of our natural resources.
Okay. Okay. Second question is really about, on your slide, you had better roads as your solution, and you have, as part of your implementation or solution, bike paths. In your cost, you outlined nearly $500,000 EC in terms of building the application and so on. What is the overall cost for everything, this entire solution, to come to fruition?
All righty, so the cost presented to you was took into consideration that there would need to be some level of hardware and software engineering to link our GPS systems and our charging systems and so on. But these are for the application only, so integrating the hardware and so on, for example, the GPS system with the software, which is the app that the end user would use. In terms of an overall price regarding software and hardware, including software and hardware integration, that I can't give you a specific price. Now, fortunately, that would be hefty, but probably around a couple of pounds if we were to take quality charging system, charging stations into consideration.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, that was a good presentation as well. My question has to do with research. So in putting this idea together for this app, did you consider the geographical layout of St. Vincent and the Grenadines? And if you did, which areas or constituencies or towns or communities have you considered that this idea would take off?
Yes, we did take into consideration the geolocation of St. Vincent. We were based on more urban areas that are crowded, that has factories, etc., but mainly basing on the North Leeward area, seeing that there are roads that are better, I should say, have been redone over the past couple of years.
Okay, so my other question is, when do you think this app will take effect? Because of the previous question that Mr. Pompey would have asked in terms of the roads, the stations, and what have you. So when do you think this app, or do you think this app can happen right now? Or do you have a timeline when this app can come into play?
So to answer your question, no, this app would not take off immediately. And give or take, it might take around approximately 5 years with maximum efficiency. If taken slowly, probably 10. Reason being, we need to import these goods. Number one, we need to consider the time taken for engineering and also consider the geolocation for stationing our electric charging stations. So it can't be done overnight, or it can't be done rushed, or it can lead to I don't know. It lead to complications, which is why we also need the assistance from Ministry of Tourism and so on if we were to make this a reality.
Mr. Lansing?
Transport, sorry, Ministry of Transport.
Okay, thank you, Skyfall, for your presentation circuit. We will now give the judges a minute to enter their scores. The next team we have presenting is Jayan Innovations with their presentation, Join Me. Welcome, Jayan Innovations.
Good afternoon. Are you tired of living the same old boring life? Do you find it hard to stop bad habits? Do you want to be productive, to try new things, and to become a better version of yourself? Do you even have friends or any support around you to motivate you and build new hobbies with? No? Well, this is the solution for you. Introducing Join Me. Doing better together. My name is Janessa Durham.
And my name is Anthony Coffey.
And we are JN Innovators. The problems we want to fix is that many people do not know that their habits are ruining their health for the long term. They also often find it difficult to stop these bad habits. Some people may want to start new habits, but don't, because the ones they already do are so easy and they can't find a better solution to substitute for the habit. Our aim is to make and experiment with new habits to allow users to join people with similar interests to track their habits and engage in a wide variety of activities. What is Join Me? Join Me is a platform that helps the users to gain and maintain their new habits and provide a community of positive outside support to help ensure these habits are kept.
To our target sector, we will target the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment. You may be wondering, why are we targeting this sector? The habits we practice, whether good or bad, will affect your health and your well-being. Our target audience. The app can be used by anyone. When you're creating your personal account, you can select an age range. A young 12-year-old child would not have the same For You page as a 30-year-old person. Our description. Search engine. The user can enter an activity in which he or she wants to engage in. There will also be random search. The user would be able to scroll through the app by swiping left to right or right to left in a clockwise or anti-clockwise motion. A new live stream would appear at random, and the user can choose to join by clicking the Join Me button in the center. There's also an invite and accept request feature. As a user, I can start a live stream and send out an invitation to the public. Other users can request to join, and then the user can accept those requests. There's also a live stream and chat feature. Users will start doing activities on live streams where they would invite their friends or the general public to join and can communicate orally or via the chat through text. This allows small communities to be made within the app. There's also a progress tracker. The user can be able to track his or her journey as they get rid of old habits and build new ones. They would have a point system along with streaks to motivate the user to practice a habit each day. There would also be an achievement wall where a picture of the person who gains a certain amount of points would be posted if the user permits. And there are safety features that would be explained later. Our budget for the app. The overall estimated budget is $30,000. The budget will be used for the graphics and design used to make the app more appealing to the user, the cost to hire a programmer to build the app, maintenance of software, and access to cloud online service providers.
The app will generate money by including premium packages that would be available where subscriptions would be paid. These features would include unlimited live streams, downloadable live streams, mini player, and videos without ads. There would also be advertisements if you're not a premium subscription.
User experience. The app will have a graphical user interface that will allow the user to interact with the application easily. There would also be date and time. This would be used for scheduling the live streams and when tracking your progress on the app. There will also be tags. For example, I am a user on the app and I will have to type in #reading, #girls only, which acts as a filter when I'm searching for an activity. There will also have notifications. The app would remind you to maintain your habits, and color differentiation will be used to differentiate between some of the features. There are also customizable features. The app will allow its users to change theme and font size because it's being used by persons of different ages, young persons, and senior citizens.
Because the app is being used by a range of ages, we plan to use an encryption and firewall system to prevent third-party interferences. There would also be a default safe search and users can report and restrict other users when explicit words or actions are carried out. As explained before, the user can accept or decline invitations. The cons of Join Me include security measures can prevent malicious actions but not stop them entirely, since people will always find new ways to do what they want. An internet connection is needed to connect with other users since the use of live streams will be used. Why Join Me? Join Me would be the only app in St. Vincent and the Grenadines that would allow users to not only track their habits, but also foster a community for people with similar interests and develop and actively practice habits together. In the future, we plan to expand to allow the use of virtual reality to make sessions more immersive. Thank you.
Okay, we'll now have questions from the judges, starting with Mr. Nanton.
Good afternoon, ladies, again. Good presentation. Although I was left a bit confused at the end, is it a social platform that you guys are building, concentrated around habits, building habits, community of habits? Okay, I was just a bit confused. And you say the app is generating revenue through
Advertisement, in-app advertisement, and premium packages. So the free version won't have the things that the premium packages has.
Okay. All right. I think that is all I need to clear up.
Mr. Pompey, do you have any questions?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Okay, so based on your presentation, which is a good presentation, I like this idea. It seems like you're building a social media platform designed to help users develop positive habits, which is really good. My first question is this intended for St. Vincent alone?
At first startup, we're going to focus on St. Vincent, and then in the future, when we have a good base, we're going to expand to other countries to make it a global platform.
Okay. My second question is around the live streaming. So live streaming is going to be a cost driver for you. How will you fund the business initially if you are going to support live streaming in your application, or what technologies are you going to use to support that?
Okay, so when you're starting the app off, you're gonna be using low-cost software to build the app. And we can start off with only chat feature, and then as we generate money, we can use the money and put it back into the app for the live stream cost.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. And you talked a bit about security of the application. But as you're probably aware, a major issue as it relates to these type of social platforms is the whole notion of privacy. Have you given any thought to how you're going to ensure privacy for your users?
Well, each person can have their own account and they will have their own login information. And if I'm a user, I'm the only person who can see my login information. I'm the only person who could start a live stream from my account. And if I have the premium feature, see my saved videos if I have it on that option.
Okay.
There's also
Go ahead, sorry.
There's also going to be the accept and decline options for live streams in case there's only certain people that you want to see your video, or if you just want to make it a public video.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Nanton, you have a question?
Yeah, one more thing. Would there be an age limit for the app? Because I know you guys said centered around people with similar habits, wanting to form new habits and whatnot. So I'm just curious as to if there would be any age barrier to entry.
The minimum ages would be 13.
Okay, thank you, Jayan Innovations, for your presentation on Join Me. I will let the judges enter their scores now. Okay, please be reminded that 12 teams from the open category will go on to the finals. And our final presentation this afternoon from team Going Up, we have Going Up.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lisa Charles, and this is my colleague, Relita Lewis. And today we are presenting the Going app.
Good afternoon, everybody. I have a question for you guys. How did you know that this event was happening? The radio, Instagram, Facebook, news, the newspaper, right? So exactly, how did you know what was going on? This is our agenda for today. This is how we're gonna cover the information, the problem.
So basically, there's a fundamental problem with getting information out in St. Vincent. There's a group of people like myself who are not on social media, who don't check Facebook or Twitter, or any of that stuff. And so we're kind of just out of the loop. So how are we gonna figure out what's happening if you're not connected, if you're not on social media? You don't wanna be bombarded by naked people and all these fancy things. You just wanna get to the idea. You wanna get to the meat without going through all of the dirt.
The solution. This is where the app comes in. This app is a centralized database covering everything happening in the country, right? From the hottest party, yoga classes, your church fundraisers, everything is gonna be on this app. Okay, so what we are hoping to is cut through the clutter of social media and always know what's going on.
Going defined. So basically, we know that there are event apps, but this is not an event app. This is a marketplace for experiences. You are bored on a Wednesday afternoon or Friday night or Sunday. You need something to do. You don't always want to go to the club. You don't always want to spend money and turn up, but there's a lot of things happening, but people just don't know what's going on. And that's where we come in.
Another question. Where are you going tonight? Or next week? Tomorrow? Did you know that there's the Vinci Expo coming up on Monday? Yeah. Did you know that there's Color Fest next week? And what about the Independence Day Parade? Miss SVG, anybody going?
So how does it work? So in the app, there's gonna be 4 main feeds. First one is what's going on. This is gonna be a list of events from things that are happening right now to things that are gonna be happening a day from now, a week from now, a month from now. This is gonna be your main place to go to see what's happening. What are you going to? These are where you see your RSVPs, where you see your tickets. These are the things that you're interested in. What's gone? Past events. Not only can you see past events, you can rate the events. You can go and say, okay, I went to this such and such yoga class. I don't really like that girl. I ain't going back. Or I really love it. You could post pictures, your highlights, let people know how was your experience. Are you gonna go back? And then for the get side, do you wanna host the event? You have a little garden, you wanna make a little money, so you wanna have a little tea party on the weekends? Fine, apply to be an event goer. Apply to put your event up.
So phase 1 of the app, right? Obviously, we're going to have a search engine so that you can search the event that you want to go to, right? RSVP, book your events. Which event is most interesting to you, whether you want to go or not. Review events like my colleague just explained and post even highlights. So when you go, you can post, hey, I'm having a good time with my friends, or you can even invite your friends on the app. Get access to exclusive deals and offers. If you're going to be a regular on the app, who knows? You might just pop up and get an extra VIP ticket. Who knows? And lastly, share upcoming events with your family and friends. What if you know about the event that's happening, but your friend doesn't, and you want them to come? Sis, we're going. We're going.
And for phase 2, as we said, this is not an event app. This is an experience marketplace. How are you going to get to the place? How are you going to get there? Who has a car? Everybody doesn't. So you can book rides to get to the event or shuttle with some buddies. You can book appointments. You want to get your hair done. You want to get your nails done. You know, Leo Club is having a fundraiser, but you don't really want to go. So you could just pledge $20 to the event. And then you can also hire people for your events or book a job. You want a little side hustle? It's Friday night. You ain't got no money. Why not go bartend at a party?
Obviously, there's going to be some risk. One that we anticipate is poor security. High risk against cyber attacks, poor cyber protection can put both the organizers and the attendees at risk. Poor finances and funding. Many startups fail to even get off the ground due to poor funding. We hope through the use of grants to make this idea a success. And lastly, poor adaptability. The wants and needs of consumers are drastically changing every year, and we don't want that to affect us.
For us, cybersecurity is not an afterthought. This is one of the fundamentals that our app is built upon. It's about how we're protecting you, protecting the user data, and making sure that when you make a transaction on our app or you book an event on our app, none of your data is going to be shared or sold to anybody else. Best practices, next level encryption, security authentication. We also have a strict compliance policy with people that want to host on events. And if you break those, you're going to be banned from the app for life. So you ain't going nowhere. And, you know, just general good mobile encryption. So this is one of my favorite quotes. The advance of technology is based on making it fit into your life so that you don't really notice it and it's part of your everyday. I think this is going to be the app that people are going to be using every day. Because you don't want to go on Facebook or Instagram. You just go to the Going app and see what's going on. You can get where you need to go. You find the events, book a ride, book your hair, book everything through the app. One-stop shop.
Any questions?
Okay, we'll now have questions from the judges, starting with Mrs. Jackson.
So that was a fiery presentation. Thank you for that. Unless I missed it, is there a subscription cost?
So basically, the cost for the event, there's going to be 2 main memberships for the people who want to host. There's nonprofit and for-profit, so there's a difference in pricing. For nonprofit organizations, you get a certain amount of events for free, and then after that, there's a transaction fee per ticket sold.
I shall come back to you. I guess, Mr. Pompey.
Mr. Pompey?
Okay, sure. Okay, thank you. I like your energy. And so I have a few questions here. First of all, I mean, there's a lot of things, you have a massive roadmap. There's a lot of things you want to do, from events to booking rides, to donations, accepting payments and stuff. How much money are you going to need to build this app?
So for our phase 1, we have estimated about $150,000 with building the app, security, and also marketing. And then for phase 2, it would probably be another $100,000. So yeah.
So $250,000. It is US or EC?
EC.
EC. Okay, cool. All right. Okay. So in phase 1, you're going to start out with your events primarily. How are you going to get the events on the app?
So basically, we're going to get the events on the app by reaching out to local promoters, people who usually have events, or even upcoming promoters who have probably never had an event before, who don't really have the budget to, do these massive campaigns or to put up things on the radio and stuff like that. So I don't think that would necessarily be a problem, because as we said, there's always stuff happening that people don't know. So we're gonna be the bridge to put everything together.
Understood, understood. And do you have a development team to develop this? Are you guys going to be the developers? Or are you going to outsource development?
Both. So I actually have a background in coding, Pascal, C++, Visual Basics, and JavaScript. I can start it off myself, but definitely, especially when we get up to the parts where processing payments, cybersecurity, things like that, we would definitely need to outsource.
Okay, thank you guys so much. That's it from me.
So Ray is marketing and finance. She has a degree in accounting.
Yes, I have a background in marketing, and initially, obviously, we would have to do the groundwork in terms of marketing, putting the app out there. But like my colleague said, I don't think that's the hard part of it, because people always want to know, even if you're having a simple house party, right? You can just simply say, hey, I'm having a house party, small, brief. It's just like, we just need people to show up. You understand? So I don't think marketing might be too difficult to do, but we would essentially be taking that up in the first phases.
Mr. Nanton, you have a question?
Yeah, couldn't remember if it was mentioned, but is this an app just geared towards St. Vincent, or do you guys have plans to expand beyond the shows?
Initially, our initial launch would be in St. Vincent, but we can definitely see this idea branching worldwide. Easy.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, team Going Up, for your presentation, Going Up. This concludes our presentations for the open category. I will now give the judges a minute to enter their scores, following which you will know which 12 teams will be going on to the finals. Okay, now I will let you know the 12 teams that will be moving on to the finals for the open category. And in no particular order, we have SVG, S Tech Innovations, Lyric, Codex Text, Lyric, MediGuide, Going App, Astro with Vinci, Coders, DM, Network Nebula, Red Lions with Rody, Astro with Killex, Skyfall with Tipper, and Jan Innovations with Join Me. Okay, so those are the 12 themes that will be going forward in the open category. We will now have the vote of thanks done by the Public Relations Officer, Ms. Eustacia Walter.
I would like to thank our judges for taking time out their busy schedule to be here today. I would like to thank the media houses, the participants for their presentations, our sponsors, Giles, for assisting our technical team. Congratulations again to the winners. For Imprint, Right Stuff, Internet Society, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, SVGBC, Asbot News Network, Eyewitness Network, Tusty Water, Extreme FM, Hot FM, Radio Grenadines, King Computer, Sports Locker Plus, Boom FM, Flow, The News, Digicel, NIS. Thank you. Good afternoon.